Howdy folks, this is Jackers, and well, this is Morous Goes to Oblivion, episode 123, I do believe, and it sounds like we are being, I was going to say hunted, but mainly we are being stalked by a mud crab who wants to shake its claw at us. Let me borrow Morris's spell book here, and we'll see if we can't fix the problem. There we go. Alrighty. We have just left Vanua, where we found, what was it? The Helm of the Crusader, I think? Hey, I got the name right. And there was nothing terribly exciting, so we are meeting out here. Before I turn it over to Morris, I will say that I am not in my best condition. I know I keep saying that. Usually I have good days and bad. The bad days seem to be stacking up on me. On the plus side, Oblivion here is where I came when I first started to break to find a shelter, so I can't think of anywhere I'd rather be. And I can't really think of a better guide to go through it than Morris the High Elf. So, rather than belabor it all, I shall turn it over now to Morris the High Elf. Yes, well, thank you for dealing with that situation. Let's see if we can't find something to take your mind off your problems. And, well, first off, what do we do with this? Fortify restoration by 4 points, personality by 25, oh yes, quite dangerous in my hands. Let's see though, what do we do? Now that I've recovered the Helm, I should proceed to the Priory of the Nine to see if it still holds the cuirass of the Crusader. Well, where do we find the Priory of the Nine? Right here. In the west weald. Here is Cylon to the west. To the northeast we have Nenyond Twill. Skingrad appears to be the closest city, though it does compete just a little with Bravil, but Skingrad is clearly the winner. For ourselves, though, let's head to Cylon. I remember that name, though I can't quite recall why. Oh, rather beautiful. Ah, this is where we came with the Mages Guild battle mages to deal with the pretend Manamako, or at least some of his followers. Either way, we now wish to find the Priory of the Nine. So let's strike out in this gorgeous woodland in what appears to be a beautiful sunrise. You know what we should also do is see what those columns over there are, just for ourselves. Looks a bit like a Way Shrine. And it is the Way Shrine of Akatosh. Well, you know what. Honor the Nine and do your duty. Pray at my chapel altars to receive my blessings. What did that do? Let's see. No. Here. No. It's under magic. I always get that confused. Or, I should say, I'm confused by that. Just curious to see. Wait. Here we are, perhaps. Fortify speed, the jaws of Akatosh. Anyway, it is beautiful out here. Perhaps pick a flower or two. Just be a part of a Nern for a few moments. All right. Is that a deer? Frolicking it is. Understandable, it is quite fun to bounce around these grassy hills, pick some lady's smock. Dragon's tongue. Going to weigh myself down with flowers. Well, here we are, the Priory of the Nine. A bit of a garden. Chapel. Structure. A well back there. Where, perhaps... Well, I don't know if we go into the structure of the chapel, but let's start with the chapel. Here we have an altar. Rejoice, through faith your afflictions are banished. Well, I don't know that we had any afflictions, but you know. Shall we go upstairs, up the ladder? Oh well, we have a gate in our backyard here. So not the chapel, we even have a stable there. Excellent. Door to the Priory of the Nine. Wonderful. Fireplace, some candles. Just not sure if there are any unwanted inhabitants at the moment. So we'll be a little careful. Alright. Shears. Oh, a little side room here. Songs of Pellinal. The Song of Pellinal, Volume 7, on his battle with Umaril and his dismemberment. Editor's note, this fragment comes from a manuscript recovered from the ruins of the Alessian Order's monastery at Lake Canalus, which dates it to some time prior to the War of Righteousness, First Era 2321. However, textual analysis suggests that this fragment actually preserves a very early form of the song, perhaps from the mid-6th century. And so, after many battles, Umaril's allies, where dead Aurorans lay like candlelight around the throne, the Pellinal became surrounded by the last Iliad sorcerer kings and their demons, each one heavy with valiance. The White Strake cracked the floor with his mace, and they withdrew, and he said, "Bring me Umaril that called me out." And while mighty in his aspect, and wicked, deathless, golden, Umaril favored ruin from afar over close combat, and so he tarried in the shadows of the White Tower before coming forth. More soldiers were sent against Pellinal to die, and yet they managed to pierce his armor with axes and arrows, for Umaril had wrought each one by long valiance, which he had been hoarding since his first issue of challenge. Presently, the half-elf showed himself, bathed in meridian light, and he listed his bloodline in the Iliad dune, and spoke of his father, a god of the previous Kalpa's world river, and taking great delight in the heavy breathing of Pellinal, who had finally bled. Text lost. And Umaril was laid low, the angel face of his helm dented into an ugliness which made Pellinal laugh, and his unfeathered wings broken off with sword strokes delivered, while Pellinal stood frothing above him, insulting his ancestry and anyone else that took ship from old Elno Fey, which angered the other elvish kings and drove them to a madness of their own, and they fell on him, speaking to their weapons, cutting the Pellinal into eighths, while he roared in confusion, which even the council of skiffs could hear. Text loss. Ran when Mor shook the whole of the tower with mighty bashing from his horns. The next morning, And some were slain in overabundance in the taking, and men looked for more aliads to kill, but Pellinor had left none save those kings and demons that had already begun to flee. It was Morous who found the White Strake's head, which the kings had left to prove their deeds, and they spoke, and Pellinor said things of regrets. But the rebellion had turned anyway, and more words were said between the immortals that even the Paravant would not deign to hear. Well, there's that. All right. Hopefully they won't mind an Altmer being part of their order. Well, I don't know what we do now. Perhaps I have to have the Helm on. I had not thought of that. Well, let's do that. Serene Beauty added. Was it now? Well, I approve of Serene Beauty. Weakness to fire, that's an ultimate thing. Weakness to frost as well. Weakness to shock. Fortify personality, part of the Helm. And fortify restoration. Yes, well, all right. What do we do with it? Perhaps we had to use the shrine while we were possessed of it. You've already received our blessing, yes, of course. Well, maybe there's a back entrance or something which leads underground. Through the well? No, no. Through here? Oh, this is fascinating. Bit of stained glass. Although all stained one color at the moment. Well, back inside we go. Ah, Knights of the Nine symbol can be used. Sir Amiel's ring fits perfectly into the diamond-shaped opening in the floor. Oh my. Oh, rather clever mechanism indeed. Down we go. The wooden door to the Priory basement. Have a forge. Someone left an iron dagger. A cupboard with tan linens. Practice for archery. Practice for pounding. A chest with some iron armor. And a bit more. A cuirass of the Knights of the Nine. A shield as well. And a door to the Priory Undercroft. Well. Well, indeed. Chest has 15 gold, which we'll take. Repair hammer and iron arrow will leave. Another chest has an iron claymore, 2 cuirasses of the Knights of the Nine, and 2 more shields. And here, the tomb of Sir Torowulf. Tomb of Sir Casimir. 17 gold, which does no one any good. In the chest. 7 more in this one. Tomb of Sir Henrik. Tomb of Sir Caius. We could use them, but let's not start by desecrating their graves, shall we? Tomb of Sir Ralvus. Tomb of Sir Juncan. And something is happening. Oh, hello. Sir Caius, Sir Juncan, Sir Torolf, Sir Gregory. Oh, nice ward over the door.
By the strength
Oh,
and
heavens.
guidance of the Nine, who comes before us upon this sacred ground, seeking the cuirass of the divine Crusader?
Do you need a bit of water? Is there something wrong with your throat?
Step forward, adventurer, and face us each in honorable combat. For the vows we fail to revere in life, we shall uphold in death.
Ah, well.
No unworthy soul shall lay hands upon this sacred artifact without the leave of the Knights of the Nine.
Is that right? Well then, I hope you all enjoy a bit of time with Daedroth. DD darling, clobber this fool. Thank you. Oh, well. Oh no, he's getting back up. Oh, we have to go through all of you, do we? DD darling, there's another one. Be a dear. Pound him to the floor. Thank you, dear. One more hit should do. Well done, darling. It is always so fun to watch them fly. I suppose we should... I don't want to use... Well, I guess we could use magic. And I could just... who's next? Yes, yes. Of course I am. And which one of you unfortunates is Sir Ralvis? Good to know. Yes. Surprise. Ralvis didn't realize he was in for a bit of table tennis. We do have Vala stones, so I can... Ah, Sir Henrik is next. Well, Henrik, time to experience pain in the afterlife. Do be a dear and step up, would you? Oh, I did miss. DD, darling, don't be bashful. He's going to feel left out. That's better, dear. One more should do. Oh, I'm sure he enjoyed his flight over the circle as well. A bit more healing. And then a bit more Daedroth. Yes. Didn't we already do Sir Caius? Well, perhaps not. Either way, which one of you is... Ah, Sir Caius, I presume. Sir Caius, you're getting to be a bit annoying. Well, I don't want to hit the other one accidentally. Yes, enjoy your flight, Sir Caius. Well, and a Daedroth. Alright. Well, he must be one of the standing ones, so... that would be you, I take it. And my turn to knock one down. Alright. A bit more healing. Hello, dear. No, I didn't lose him. I smashed him to the floor, and he walked right over there. Oh, good, a Nord. DD loves Nords. Maybe they taste minty. Or perhaps like honey. Maybe it's all the mead. Either way, he's enjoying the comforts of the floor. What about you, Amiel? Oh, excellent. I was worried we were going to miss you. I don't know why he insists on being so far away. All right. And you may face us. You do remember how to swing that thing, don't you? Oh, well. I say, old boy, are you all right? And a bit more healing. Thank you, DD. Always fun to introduce you to new folks.
300 years, none have stood against us and lived. Step forward and claim what is yours by right. May your faith be true.
Well, there's a first time for everything. Yes, hang your head. That is appropriate. I've defeated the ghostly guardians of the cuirass of the Crusader. I can now claim it for my own. I've recovered the cuirass of the Crusader. I should talk to the ghosts of the former Knights of the Nine to see if they can aid me in my quest for the remaining Crusader's relics. Well, let's take a look at the armor itself. The helm is light armor. Cuirass, probably, under C, is also light armor. Fortify Restoration, 4 points on self. Resist normal weapons, 15 points. Sorry, 15% on self. And Fortify Health, 21 points on self. Fascinating, really. The only unfortunate thing is that it might trip over our armor here. But, oh, it does look rather dashing, doesn't it? Alright, I think actually we might pause here and continue our discussions with the former Knights of the Nine when next we meet. For the moment, I would like to say thank you so much for joining DD and I, and of course, Checkers the Human. Oh, I wonder if that is the stained glass we saw upstairs. I digress. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found our journey entertaining and maybe even just a little bit informative. We would like to invite you to think of something which brings you joy, something which brings a smile to your face, a warmth to your heart. We would also like to invite you to please stay safe, and most of all, to please take care.